I know you really wish to have a complete, effective Ramadan routine throughout the month of Ramadan, and here I am for you. So I'm here to share some tips on how to have an effective Ramadan. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. You're welcome to my channel. My name is Zainab and I talk about Islam, personal development, and some reaction videos also. Without further ado, let's jump right into the video. The first tip for you is to sleep daily by 10 p.m. Some of you might sleep late, but in the month of Ramadan, I want you to sleep every day by 10 p.m. maximum. Why? We are going to know in this video. The second tip I have is to wake up at 4 a.m. Now, this is kind of tricky because it depends on the time of Fajr in your area. Here in the UAE, the time of Fajr is around 5:20-ish. So if yours is like that, you should try to wake up at 4 a.m. And once you wake up, this tip will be good for women, especially, wives, mothers at home. I said in my last video that you should prep your meals, like your soup, your stews, cook them and put them in the freezer. You just bring it out and microwave them or warm them. So this is another tip for you. Immediately you wake up, just go to the kitchen. I know, just calm down. Just go to the kitchen. Probably you want to make some swallow or you want to boil some rice. Go to the kitchen, place your pot on the cooker and put water in it. If you put your water in the pot, then let it boil, You can also wash your rice immediately if you don't mind. And the next thing you should do immediately is to go to the washroom, brush your teeth and make your wudu immediately. See, we don't have any time to waste, especially around this time. We have to cook and we also have to, do some ibaadah as well. Cooking is also an ibaadah, but you do not want to miss this time, this particular time in the month of Ramadan. So that is why I'm sharing these tips. So after making your wudu, the next thing to do is to go for 2 rakas immediately. Now your water is on the cooker. If you will be cooking, right? Your water is on the cooker or your rice is on the cooker or anything, just water, not like serious thing that is going to get burnt. Go for 2 rakas immediately. 2 rakas is not going to take time. Your first rakah, you recite Surah Al-Fatiha, then Surah Al-Kafirun. Then the second one, you recite, after Surah Al-Fatiha, recite Surah Al-Ikhlas. That's it, you're done. So after your 2 rakah, just make dua, Just make it simple and short because we do not want to waste time. Just quick, short, and fast. We are still going to have time for lots of ibadah, okay? I'm just telling you what to do so you can juggle cooking and ibadah together. So after doing that, the next thing for you to do now is to attend to what is on the cooker. Maybe it's water, rice. If you're cooking your native food like swallows and all that, now it's time because the water will have been boiled already. It's boiling. Now it's time to make, to make your food, to prepare the table, to set the dining table. Then while doing that, I want you to keep your tongue moving. One of the tips I shared in my last video. The link will be in the description box. If you haven't seen it, please see that also after watching this video. As you're cooking, you're preparing you're setting the table, get your tongue moving. Subhanallah, walhamdulillah, wa la ilaha illallah, wallahu akbar, astaghfirullah wa atubu ilayh, la ilaha illallah. Just keep on saying supplications. Just keep on praising Allah. Just keep on giving salawat upon the prophets. You get rewarded in 2 places. Number 1, you're feeding someone that is fasting, probably your husband, your family, your kids. You're cooking for them, which is halal, which is a good deed. And you're also saying dhikr. You are remembering Allah at that state. You put some water on the cooker. You went to brush. You make your wudu. Please make all this snappy. You had 2 rakas, you make a little dua. It should be around 4:30 to 4:45-ish, right? And the time for Fajr is 5:20. Do not forget. Just make sure you set the table. If the time they are going to call the adhan is exactly 5:25, just set the table and do what I want to tell you to do. When you're done setting the table, now it's time for you to sit down comfortably. You go for another 2 rakah. Or you just sit down, then you start to make dua, like intense dua. You ask Allah for whatever you want. And please remember, no time to waste. If you can set your alarm, that would be the best thing to do. Just set your alarm. Then when it is exactly 5 a.m., you get up, then you get to your dining table and eat your sahur. I don't like to rush food when eating. I don't like to rush, especially sahur, that moment. You should take your time. I think 25 minutes or 20 minutes is actually the best, amount of time you should eat. Take your time, eat. Do not watch TV while eating. Do not watch your phone or press your phone. Just concentrate on your food and eat your sahur. Then you should be done before 5:20. Of course, you should be done. I just don't want us to be, to be in a rush while eating. Then when you're done, maybe 5:15, go to your prayer mat back, make 2 rakas, which will be your rakatain al-fajr. The 2 rakas before fajr, which the Prophet said the 2 rakah is more than all the goodness in this world and all it contains. So make your rakatain al-fajr, and it will be already time for fajr, then you go for your fajr. Then after that, do not sleep after your salatul fajr. I'm going to share some tips after this. If you want to complete reciting the Quran in 30 days, I'm going to share the tips on how to do that in some minutes. The next one is after your Salatul Fajr, do your morning adhkar and recite the Quran. And after you do that, now it's time for you to rest, because that should be around 6:30, 7, depending on how long you recited the Quran for. Now is the time to rest or to sleep. But if you're going to work, do not try it. Don't try to sleep or to rest after that. Just get up, get yourself prepared for work or your school. Because if you try it, if you just want to sleep like this, you just wake up and see 11 a.m. and a lot of calls on your phone from work. And if you are in Gulf countries, that gives Muslims the opportunity to come late during Ramadan because they want to sleep, they want to rest after suhoor. You can as well sleep from 7 to 9, just have 2 hours nap before going to work. And the next tip is for someone who is going to be at home all day. So when it's 9 a.m., from 9 a.m. to 11:30 a.m., this time should be used anytime out of this time. Make sure you observe your Salatul Duha. Salatul Duha is observed before Salatul Zuhur comes in. Maybe we are going to talk about the benefit, how to observe Salatul Duha in another video entirely, inshallah. But just know that you have to observe your Salatul Duha between 9 to 11:30. You observe at least 4 rakas. But if it is 2 you can make, it's enough. 2 is enough also. Then after doing that, before Dhuhr, just play your Quran at home, play your Adhkar, Al-Qunut, or in my own case, I do play podcasts. So I can listen to, development podcasts, self-development podcasts. And before you're done with that, it's time for Zuhur already. Then you observe Zuhur at its appointed time. Then after that, you recite your Quran, as long as you can. You sit down there till or before Salatul Asr. Observe your Salatul Asr also and recite Quran after that again. When you're done reciting Quran after Asr, you should know that it's time for you to start preparing for iftar. If you are the one, that will cook. Like I said to the women, to the wives, if you're the one that is going to cook, now it's time for you to prepare for iftar. What are we going to eat? So as you prepare for iftar, play your evening adhkar. If you're the one that knows the adhkar offhand, you can just play it and recite it, alongside with the reciter while you prepare for the iftar. Then if you don't know the evening adhkar offhand, you can just sit down comfortably and recite your evening adhkar. Since we already meal prep, what you're just going to do is to probably just make some, little dish and bring some food out of the freezer, then microwave it, and that's all. Then the next tip for you is to make dua before you break your fast. Please do not make this mistake of, I'm hungry, let me quickly just grab something and eat. That time before you break your fast is a very special time. You need to make dua. We have supplication before breaking the fast. I'm going to put the link, the supplication on the screen also. Then you pray. It's not a must you pray for something, much. You can just say Rabbana atina fid dunya hasana wa fil akhirati, or you just say Allahumma inni as'aluka al-afiyah wa a'udhu bika minan nar. Just short surah that are very powerful. Just say it. Make sure you say it before you put something in your mouth. Then you say Bismillah. And the next one is break your fast at sunset. The appointed time for breaking the fast, when you hear the adhan, and break your fast with what you can afford. Not that you want to break your fast now. You went to the market, you bought pineapple, watermelon, this and that, just because you want to break your fast. And you know that when I buy all these things, the money with me will be very little. So even if it is just some dates, break your fast with dates. And make sure you drink a lot of water after breaking your fast. Drink a lot of water so that you can be full. I'm going to share you one tip now. When you drink a lot of water immediately after breaking your fast, you're going to be full. Then you won't miss Maghrib. I noticed a lot of us miss Salatul Maghrib because we are eating iftar, we are breaking our fast. Then we miss Salatul Maghrib, forgetting that Salatul Maghrib has a very short time, which, it is encouraged for us to always meet up at that time to observe Salatul Maghrib at that particular time. So when you break your fast, sit down, eat, you're tired, you need to rest. Before you know it, it's time for Isha already. Then you miss Salatul Maghrib and you have to start paying back the Salah and all that. So just drink water, make sure you are full, then go to the masjid or observe your Salatul Maghrib. Then you know that, okay, I'm done with my Salatul Maghrib. I don't have to, pay back some Salah after being tired, after eating. Then after your Salatul Maghrib, you make your dua, you recite your Quran, and if not, you go to your food. Then after eating, you can recite your Quran. Then the next one is observe your Isha at the particular time also, then observe your Taraweeh. Taraweeh is a long prayer that we observe, the long Salah rather, that we observe after Salatul Isha in the month of Ramadan. Is always 11 rakat. After observing your Salatul Taraweeh, then you recite the Quran. Then after doing all this, just take 5 minutes, only 5 minutes, to reflect on what you've done throughout the day. Ask yourself these questions. What did I do well? What needs to be improved? What needs to stop? And what needs to start? So these are my tips for you to have an effective Ramadan routine on a daily basis. So as I promised, I said I'm going to share tips on how to complete the Quran in 30 days. So if you want to complete the Quran in 30 days, make sure you recite Quran every single day. Okay, let me break it down. Fajr, after Salatul Fajr, Salatul Zubhi, which we know, recite 4 pages, only 4 pages of the Quran. Salatul Zuhur, recite 4 pages of the Quran. Salatul Asr, recite 4 pages. Salatul Maghrib, recite 4 pages. Salatul Isha, recite 4 pages. Only 4 pages throughout after every Salah. So doing this is already calculated that way. If you do this every single day in Ramadan, you're going to complete the Quran in 30 days. And if you like to complete the Quran in 15 days, you recite 8 pages after every Salah. After Fajr, 8 pages. After Zuhur, 8 pages. After Asr, 8 pages. Isha and Maghrib, 8 pages. Isha, 8 pages. Above all, increase in your sadaqah. Give out things. Give out, charity. Go to the mall where they put boxes where you have to drop coins. Go there. Call people in for iftar. That is the sweetest thing you can do. The sweetest thing you can do in Ramadan. Call people in for iftar and feed them. Mashallah, that's very sweet actually. Give people things, dash things out, good things. Go to the mall or drop a coin. Even if it is $1. Just make sure you give charity. I'm not saying you do this every single day. You might not live near the mall and you might not find people that need things like that. Whenever you go to the mall in Ramadan, just make sure you drop things, and you can even send someone that is going to the mall and all that. It's simple as that. We're just making sure you get rewarded in every single way in Ramadan. We do not want to waste any reward in Ramadan. We want to make sure we receive all the reward we can get in the month of Ramadan. So I ask Allah to grant us the tawfiq to implement all these tips. May Allah accept our ibaadah. May Allah accept our Ramadan in advance. Allahumma baligna Ramadan. Till I see you in my next video. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.